Hello, everyone. I just want to talk about a series I just watched. That is the Amazon Fallout series. Season one of it. And this is spoiler free, so don't worry about any character developments, anything like that. Don't worry about any of that. I just want to point out how fantastic this series, the first season was. What they captured was what actually encapsulates like who the big bad of the Fallout universe is. It's not the Chinese, it's not the United States government, it's not the Enclave, the Brotherhood of Steel, uh, the NCR or Caesar's Legion, or any of them. It's Vault-Tec. Vault-Tec are the problem. They are the baddies of the whole series. And I actually looked up and I was like, trying to fact check myself. I'm like, is it actually Vault-Tec or is it just the government posing as Vault-Tec? No, it's legitimately Vault-Tec because in the war. By the way, if you haven't watched, if you haven't played any of the Fallout games, I guess this would technically be big spoilers. But I mean, it's fucking background lore you're gonna learn like right out the fucking gate. But essentially, what the story boils down to is that you have China and the United States. They are the two big nuclear powers of the time. For some reason, it's not Russia. I don't know why, but whatever. So China and the United States. China, and the United. Sorry, my cat just fucking ran under my chair. China and the United States have this big kind of push and back and forth over in Alaska, where they're competing over it. The United States eventually wins, and so everybody's thinking that, like, everything's going to be kosher, right? Well, Vault-Tec's like, well, we can't build our vaults and we can't maintain them if there's no need for them. What do? Well, corporatism does what corporatism does, and they kind of go the route of the military industrial complex, and they kind of push, or not push, but nudge the inevitable nuclear war between between China and the United States, and that results in nuclear fallout and and then boom, you have Fallout's 1 and 2, which I have not played, but I would definitely love to play them. But you also have Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. All three games I love to death. Fallout 77. Sorry. Sorry, but you can eat a dick on that one. But I feel like whoever, I didn't look up who had actually, been the main writers and producers. Cat, hey. Stop. Wait, why are you clawing at the door? There's nothing in there, idiot. Anyways, but yeah, it's like you have your various antagonists. Like in Fallout 3 was the Enclave, in New Vegas it's Caesar's Legion, or in the NCR if you decide to side with Caesar's Legion, and Fallout 4 it's the Commonwealth. Now these factions are more of a byproduct of the overall problem that the nuclear war between China and the United States, that they're byproducts of that war, of that nuclear war. But the real villain, the real antagonist of the entire franchise is Vault-Tec, because they're building all these vaults and they're prepping for the nuclear war. And then when China and the United States governments are both like, you know what, let's have a sit down, let's have some woosah, let's chill out and maybe talk some shit out. And Vault-Tec's like, no, we ain't having that shit. And so what does Vault-Tec do? They kind of push the nuclear war forward by whatever means that they did it through. I won't say if you learn it through the show or not, but if you play the games, you get all kinds of codexes and shit that kind of ties in some various stories from like Vault-Tec employees, Vault-Tec executives, and you learn very quickly that the vaults are all a combination of just social experiments to see how society functions under various circumstances, under various conditions, if you will. Like, how does this one function when they're starved for a little bit? How does this one function when they're infected with people? I mean, what do we call a group of humans? An infestation. Or they're infested with like a virus or a disease. How does this vault function when it's literally a bunch of clones? How does this vault function when this happens, that happens, etc. You play the games, you'll learn the various experiments that they conducted with these vaults, and I think that was the biggest beauty of the show, was seeing how they were able to like kind of make Vault-Tec the big villain of the overall series, or well, season one at least, possibly season two, because I do believe with how it ended, and I won't get into like what all happened, but with how it happened, I do think they plan to do a season two. I fucking hope they do, because this show nailed it out of the park. Like we had great success with One Piece in 2023, and we've now had great success with Fallout in 2024. So I look forward to seeing what they do with season two, especially with how it ended. Won't get into that, obviously, because I want you all to experience it for yourselves. And I've even said this to people that like haven't experienced like a Fallout game or played the games or even watched the show in general or even know about the universe. It's like, this is some shit you gotta experience for yourself, because the vaults are fucking terrifying. They are fucking terrifying social experiments. And the show hits home on the fact, and my main point here is also that they do it better than Bethesda did with Fallouts 3 and 4. Now, New Vegas, done by Obsidian, they hit the ball out of the park. They knew what the fuck was going on. They did a great job. Bethesda, on the other hand, no, absolutely not. But this show understood that Vault-Tec is the fucking problem. They're the main bad guys of the whole fucking thing. Mind you, they're the main villains of a story that they technically are already dead in. Like, that's kind of the beauty of it all. And it ties into, like, how all of these people and super mutants and ghouls and everything like that are dealing with the aftermath of what they caused, what Vault-Tec caused. And I thought that was just a brilliant way to set the story going forward. And it's kind of like how in the Resident Evil series, like Umbrella's kind of the underlying problem, you know, up until, what was it? Actually, yeah, after Code Veronica, Umbrella ceased to be kind of an entity entirely, but however, you still felt the ripple effects of what they'd caused with Tricell in Resident Evil 5, or Wesker in Resident Evil 5, or what do they call? Or what was her name in Resident Evil 8? The chick trying to bring her daughter back to life, or whatever the fuck. You know, you still had the ripple effects of like the legacy that Umbrella left behind, but here it's the same thing, except, you know, it's like 200 years later. But, yo, I gotta say, if you haven't watched the Fallout series, watch it. Fucking watch it. Amazon, you did great. One of the few times I will praise Amazon, but they did great. They did a fantastic job with this show. I love the casting. I love the acting. I love the storytelling, the cinematography, the music, everything. It was like, if you are a Fallout nerd, you will literally, your brain will literally melt into just like the greatest sensation of all time. To put it in a weird fucking context, but you will love what they have done with this show. You will fucking love it. I give it like a goddamn 9 out of 10. Like, I don't want to give my 10 out of 10 because, you know, I still want them to kind of push that envelope a little bit further, but definitely a 9 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5 if I'm being more conservative, but I will say they did a fantastic job. So hats off to Amazon. One of the few times I will praise that company. And hats off to the actors and actresses, the costume designers, everybody involved in this project. They did a phenomenal job. And it's like, hey, guess what? You get people that give a shit about, you know, the thing that you're trying to make, and they actually make a good thing. Oh, look at that. Profit. And I say that as I'm also pointing out the fact that Vault-Tec was trying to profit, and yeah, you get the point. But yeah, no, I'm rambling at this point. I tend to do it. I have ADHD. But yeah, no. If you haven't watched the Fallout series yet, I recommend you watch it. It's fantastic. It's wonderfully done. Everybody behind it, you did a fantastic job. And I look forward to seeing season 2. And better fucking give us a season 2, god damn it. Anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful Thursday. And I will see you all probably later on tonight on Twitch when I stream some cartoonified StarCraft. If I don't see you then I'll see you when I see you. Anyways, buenos. I was gonna say buenos noches, but it's fucking 6 in the afternoon. Anyways, have a good evening, everybody, and well, see you next time.